say, one of the things I think that really struck me, we meet your character as of last week's episode. We get the sense, I think, of Kazi's relationship with Maya right away, and how he really kind of feels like almost her grounding energy, or someone who can level her out maybe when she's kind of wants to charge ahead and take action. So I'm curious, were there ever any conversations between you and Alaqua about how to play that dynamic on screen?
Yeah, for sure. We were very blessed to have had a lot of time to rehearse our scenes. I mean, I was immeasurably grateful for it because I had more time to learn the sign language, which I was nervous about initially, because I wanted to, be proficient enough to make Kazi a believable, fluent sign language communicator and interpreter. But what it meant that was not another gift was that we got to spend so much time together. You don't usually get to rehearse a lot on film or TV. So this was a real blessing, and it meant that we were able to discuss the characters and their motivations, and it is a utterly intriguing relationship. They've been in each other's lives for a long time. Kazi is there in the karate class, learning karate at the same time as little Maya. So they have a relationship, a familial relationship, and care very deeply about one another. Kazi, I suspect, would have imagined himself in a higher position in the organization than Maya. That has been his driving force all of his life. I'm not sure if it's been Maya's driving force all her life, but perhaps after the death of her father, she felt it useful to be in the organization and use that manpower to try and find out who did this. But it has always been Kazi's driving force. And so from going from this familial brother-sister setup to then feeling somewhat emasculated by Maya taking the position that he perhaps thinks is rightfully his, we've got a bit of conflict going on. And whereas Kazi was perhaps able to, in the past, calm Maya down and keep her level-headed, because he's a very cool, collected cucumber, but she is extremely reactive. You saw that when she goes for Kate Bishop, she's reactionary and impulsive, and that's dangerous in an organization like this that is criminal underbelly. They should be keeping a low profile, but Maya is absolutely finding her voice in this show, and I think her quest for revenge is unsatiable, and it'll be interesting to see if Kazi's able to do anything about that.
I'm curious as well, what appealed about the character to you in terms of how he's presented on the page? Because clearly, he has a comics history. We're not really delving into that yet. It feels like the show is kind of focusing more on the relationships and kind of building him from the ground up, rather than being like, here's this comics person that So was that part of the appeal, or were there other components as well?
I mean, the appeal was just I'd play anything. I'll play anything in this Marvel world. I'm such a huge fan anyway. And I didn't know anything about this character when I was auditioning for it. I still knew very little whenever I was cast, to tell you the truth. But I had read the Fraction comics that the series is based on. And yeah, I found him very compelling, super cool, brooding and sinister and sly, and all of those quite heightened things that we would associate with a villainous character. But it's really wonderful how Marvel Studios have managed to take these villainous characters and give them a lot more depth. So there's a reason to be, and there's a reason to act in a certain way, and yeah, we may not have explored fully this whole spectrum We're trying to figure out what these motivations are and where Kazi has come from and how he's found himself to be in the position he's in, and what truly drives him. That's something that I've loved exploring, and I hope the viewers enjoy watching it unfold in its sort of slow, beautiful way that we're doing.
You have a great scene with Jeremy Renner in this week's episode. The scene in the car, it's very brief, but there's some great humor that gets to play out. But I think that we also see a little bit of Kazi starting to feel conflicted, with his dedication to Maya and wanting to help her, but then also there's bigger picture that's kind of at stake. So how is that going to play out through the rest of the season? I know you probably can't say much, but
well, yeah, you just hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what's going on. Kazi isn't as straightforward as just bad guy and will do whatever he wants to get to the top. There clearly is a soul in there that has some sense of empathy and responsibility and loyalty. And yeah, he's utterly conflicted with these two opposing factors. It'll be interesting to see if he manages to choose one over the other. Is it advantageous if he chooses one over the other for his own personal gain, or it'll be really intriguing and interesting to see what actually happens.
I personally can't wait for the fans to see what does happen. But thank you again so much for taking the time to sit and chat about the show. Congratulations on it finally being in the world, and have a great day.
Thanks a million, Carly. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.